Ready? Say it again. Okay. Mm-hmm. Running a little bit. Oh, cute. Sparkle. That's all right. Okay. We're ready to start? I didn't get your message.
Didn't call me.
Nuh-uh. Are we ready? See me after the meeting. This meeting of the Oak Park City Council is called to order. City Clerk Ed Norris, please call the roll.
Mayor McClellan,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Here.
Councilmember Speech, Councilmember Radner,
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
I'll entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Speech for illness.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Motion to approve the agenda omitting item 13A and B, which will be put off till the next meeting. So moved. Support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Consent agenda. These are routine items presented for city council approval without discussion as a single item. Sorry? We forgot the pledge, I know. Should any council member wish to discuss or disapprove them, must be dropped from the blanket motion and considered as a separate item. Item A, special council meeting minutes of November 9th. B, organizational council meetings minutes of November 9th. C, regular council meeting minutes of November 16th. D, Corridor Improvement Authority meeting minutes of October 22nd. E, Zoning Board of Appeals meeting minutes of October 27th. F, request to schedule a meeting of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority / Economic Development Corporation on December 17th, 2015 at 7 p.m. This is an open public meeting. G, Public Safety Activity Summary Report for October 2015. Payment application number 1 to Nagel Paving Company for the 2015 Shepherd Park Parking Lot Reconstruction Project, M608, in the total amount of $117,487.46. I, payment of invoices from Orchard Hills and Mid-Clement for water reservoir pumping station improvements, traffic signal design, and Oak Park Boulevard rehabilitation in the total amount of $22,539.95. J, request to cancel the regularly scheduled Ethnic Advisory Commission meeting of December 10th. K, licenses, new and renewals, is submitted for December 7th, 2015. Is there anything you need omitted? Okay, motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
Support.
Support, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We don't have, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. A little late, delayed. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do not have special recognition or presentations. There is a public hearing to receive public comment on the allocation of 2016 Community Development Block Grant funds. The public hearing is open. If you would like to speak to this item, please come up. Anyone? There being no one interested in speaking on this, the public hearing is closed. I will entertain a resolution approving the recommended allocations of the 2016 Community Development Block Grant Funds, and authorizing the mayor to sign the sub-recipient agreement on behalf of the city.
So moved.
Support.
Moved in support. Can we have an explanation of this, please? City Manager Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a brief explanation. Our CDBG allocation from the federal government has remained somewhat steady, just over $100,000 total for the last 3 or 4 budget years. The last time that there was a difference in terms of the classification of our allocation was in 2013. And in 2013, we had about $15,000 allocated for minor home repair. As you know, in last year's budget, we decided to partner with OLSHA, and OLSHA provides lawn mowing, snow removal, fall yard cleanup, and a whole slew of other agency programs, meaning they leverage the dollars that we put in there times, quite a few. So it's a very good program. We've seen good results, and I think it's worthy of continuing. Obviously, the subsidy that we've budgeted for code enforcement, I think, is paying dividends in our community. We're seeing people fixing up their homes and properties not going derelict that might have before. Thank you.
Any questions or comments about this particular item? Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, the $95,528 for code enforcement. Can you be a little bit more detailed as to how those funds are used?
Absolutely, Mayor Pro Tem. Those funds are used almost entirely to subsidize salaries for code staff in this department. And as all of you know, we have added at least 2, maybe 3 code staff in this division in an attempt, again, to get on top of some of our ordinance violations out in our community.
Thank you so much. I just wrote myself a little note, PTE or FTE, so thank you for clearing that up for me. Just want to make sure.
Would this be a good time to reinstate that $15,000 fund that was used for minor home repair?
This is the time to do that if you decide to do that, number one. Number two, I think my response to that would be depending on what programs you want to hit. Because again, remember, OLSHA does provide many of the programs, and I know people call my office all the time asking for lawn mowing or snow removal or cleanup and so forth. And we do get that through the OLSHA program, albeit, there you go, albeit somewhat limited. I would only say this, council members, if you do decide to reallocate some funds into minor home repair, that obviously you would have to reallocate those from code enforcement, in which case the general fund would have to pick up the difference.
Okay. There are significant number of seniors in our city, and they are still hard hit. It would seem if our budget is a little better that it would be a good time to be thinking about our needy seniors and reinstate this small amount of money. Is there any feeling in the council?
So this would be an additional 15,000.
This would be, I think, taking 15,000 from the 95, is that
95.
correct?
That, the amount is up to you. If it's 15,000, again, that would just reduce the subsidy to code enforcement to 80.
Okay. And we're going to keep the public services, the yard services.
Keeping the
program.
yard services and just reinstating the 15,000 that was deleted during hard times. There are a lot of seniors, and a lot of seniors are hurting.
Have we been getting a lot of requests
I
for
have been.
assistance? Because if we have not been, then it wouldn't make sense to allocate these
Yes.
funds for that if we have not been getting
Right.
a lot of requests.
I think the city manager said that he's getting significant requests. Can you speak to that, please?
There's no doubt, Madam Mayor, and I think your point is very pertinent. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, but it primarily is lawn mowing and snow removal throughout the year, and even yard cleanup that I get requests all the time. I think you're absolutely right. There are a tremendous amount of seniors who are in rough shape and need a hand up. And, You know, again, if you, and I think the city clerk might need clarification on what you're,
Do you recommend, the extra 15 going to yard services instead of minor home repair?
that is what I would recommend.
Okay.
Because again, I think you're getting most bang for your buck because you can leverage those dollars with OSHA dollars.
So the, recommendation would be to, let's
Take
see,
an additional 15,000 from code enforcement, add it to public services,
correct.
to seniors.
Public services, yard services.
Madam Mayor, if I may,
Please,
how is that going to affect code enforcement?
City Manager Tungay, please.
That's a great question. Again, it's just gonna reduce the, CDBG, subsidy to code enforcement by whatever amount you decide to reallocate. Can we take it on? Absolutely. This was our, one of our pillars in the last few years has been to take on code issues throughout our community. And to do so, we hired additional staff, and this is part of that money that has gone towards that effort.
So these funds will come from the general fund instead of from this subsidy?
That is correct.
What I'm asking specifically, if I may, is anybody going to have to take a pay cut? Because you said the majority of this $95,000 goes to salaries.
There will not be a pay cut associated with it.
The money will come from the general fund instead of from this particular fund.
Okay.
And this fund instead, part of it will go to seniors, needy seniors. Let's see, so recommend allocation. So are we, passing a resolution approving this amended? We need an amendment, correct?
Mhm, yeah, and
So we just need a motion to amend this to, reallocate the funds so that, yard services, public services gets 30,000.
give you the exact amount.
And code enforcement gets 80,528.
So moved?
Okay? Support?
Yeah.
All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the amendment carries. So now we're back to the vote for the amended resolution approving this allocation of funds. And we have a motion and we have a second. So roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Okay, this is approved unanimously. That's good news for our seniors. That's good. Next, we're on item 11, which is approval of payment of invoices submitted by Seacrest, Wardle, Lynch, Hampton, Truax, and Morley for legal services in the amount of $640. I would entertain a motion to approve this payment.
Support?
Moved and supported. Any discussion or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner, Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried. We are putting off number 13A and B for further discussion and study, which brings us to item 14, City Attorney, City Attorney Ebony Duff. Can you speak to the approval of the consent judgment?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have two items before you today under agenda items 14A and B. They are related, so I will just speak to both of them together. These are tax tribunal appeals related to our Lincoln Center property. There are two separate appeals. One is specific to the entire Lincoln Center, and one of the appeals is solely with respect to the Kmart store, or the former Kmart store. So the first appeal, which is under docket number 1500584, is the former Kmart store, which, as all of you know, now is vacant. It's approximately 87,000 square foot commercial building. This store closed in the late spring of 2014, while we were hopeful that they would fairly quickly, or at least sometime soon, get another tenant in there. That has not been the case to date. So we have been litigating this case based on values of other vacant big box sales stores, which are the comparable sites. After doing a comparison of other stores, and we had quite extensive discussion with the petitioner's representative, we did come up with a resolution that's proposed in the consent judgment, which effectively will reduce the 2015 city taxes by approximately $23,475 for that parcel. And again, while significant, we do have some very significant challenges, again, just because it is such a large store and the property owner has not been able to find a new tenant there. That issue and the vacancy then dovetails into the second tax tribunal appeal, which was pending under docket number 150000767, which is for the remaining parcels on the Lincoln Center Shopping Center. And with respect to that appeal, we did request and receive copies of all the tenant rent rolls. We noted that they did give a fairly significant reduction to all of the tenants in light of the Kmart vacancy, which has unfortunately created a lag on all of the other parcels there. But after some negotiation and discussion, and again, comparing their rent rolls with other commercial spaces in the city and comparables, we have come up with a proposed settlement that's in the consent judgment, which will reduce the city taxes for this entire parcel by approximately $7,850 for 2015. So again, in the grand scheme of things, these are fairly minor reductions, but they do impact the city when you take them as a whole. So we wanted you all to have an opportunity to review that history, and you have the judgments before you. If you have any questions, I can answer those at this time. Otherwise, I'm requesting your approval to execute the judgments on behalf of the city.
For the civilians, can you tell what a consent judgment is?
A consent judgment basically is just a contract saying we agree to settle this case on specific terms. And the terms we're agreeing to are for the specific dollar amounts that we are saying the assessments are valued for each of the properties for the 2015 tax year. That's the only one at issue. And then we've also agreed that they would waive any interest that otherwise would have been due and any other cost attendant to the appeal. And again, in light of the fact of having to go forward with defending in a trial that would be quite expensive, quite frankly, to only end up with similar values, I do believe this is in the best interest of the city.
City Manager Tungate, would you speak to this issue?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to just give a brief comment that, especially for our new members on council, that these MTT matters used to be, and again, the economy has improved somewhat, but these used to be these killers for us every single year. And when we brought our new legal staff, Ebony Duff and others on our city attorney side, the fact that they are now reaching deeper and inquiring about rental rolls and so forth, and, you know, actively negotiating these settlements is really in our best interest. And really, you know, unfortunately in the past we didn't do this as much. So it's saving the city money. And I really commend our city legal staff for, you know, going the extra mile to do that.
So these need to be considered separately, separate votes?
Yes, please.
We need a motion to approve the consent judgment in tax tribunal matter of Lincoln Center versus the City of Oak Park, MTT docket 1500584.
So moved.
Support?
Moved and supported. Are there questions or discussion?
Just,
Mayor Pro Tem.
just so that I can make sure I'm understanding this correctly, I'm Attorney Duff. In regards to the Kmart property, the city taxes that we will be getting will be $23,475?
Less
Less
than what they
than what we
were
normally
for
receive.
that's right,
And $7,850 less
For all the rest.
from the Lincoln Center as a whole that we normally receive.
that's correct. And that's the actual breakdown that the city loses, but just keep in mind that taxes actually are spread amongst the school district, the county taxes as well. So this is just the impact to our city.
Okay, thank
I
you.
have a question.
Yes.
Are they gonna expect the same deal next year?
No, there is no, well, I don't say unfortunately, because sometimes you do get a good deal, but no, there is no ability to contract or require that any settlement for this current tax year to apply next year as well.
As far as tax appeals go, is this gonna make our position that much weaker next year, in your experience?
No, in my experience, it does not. Tax appeals, again, are looking at the value of a property at a specific period in time. It is not dependent upon, again, what the prior tax assessment was necessarily, again, in light of this settlement, but it is looking at what's the value of that property in comparison to other like properties.
Lastly, are they doing everything that they can to fill that vacancy?
We have been told they are, and we have a very good economic development director who I understand is also trying to encourage and assist them in any way possible. But yes, when we dealt with them on the tax assessment side, we have been told they're trying to market the property and just have not had much interest.
Further questions? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried. Item 14B, request for approval of consent judgment in the tax tribunal matter of Lincoln Center versus the City of Oak Park, MTT docket 15-000767. Sorry. Where we did the first one, we did the second one? We had to do them separately? It's right. We have
So
to do them
moved.
separately, she said.
So moved.
Support?
Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
No, it hasn't been. Don't worry. Oh, my
Thank you, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. We are at the city manager section. City Manager Tungate, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And it's my understanding that 15A through E, we can do as one motion, if that's okay with this honorable body.
Session, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, A through D, E would be a separate matter. A through D are, and you have a memo in your packet from me. So subject to your final approval, I've negotiated and made an offer to extend all 4 of our collective bargaining agreements for 1 year, which would make them all expire on June 30 of 2017. As it stands today, all 4 of them will expire on June 30, 2016. Part of the structure and terms for the agreement that we've consummated to make this extension would be that outlined below, and that would be obviously an $1,000 incentive paid immediately, and a 2% pay increase paid on July 1st of 2016. The same offer is being made to all of our collective bargaining units without exception, and I would also ask that, as a separate matter, 15E, that we discuss that for our other employees. And just for recollection, back in 2012 when we did this, we always have extended the same benefit to the bargaining units that we extended to our general employees, our non-union employees. And I'm asking you to do that here.
Okay. So the motion would be a contract extension with the Oak Park Police Officers Labor Council, Oak Park Public Safety Command Officers Association, for the period of July 1st, 2016 to July 30th, 2017. Also, contract extension with the Oak Park Police Officers Association, Police Officers Association of Michigan for the same period. Contract extension with the Police Officers Association of Michigan Dispatchers, and also for the Technical Professional Office Workers for the same period. So we need a motion for these contract extensions.
So moved.
Support?
Moved and supported. Discussion or questions? We have phenomenal employees in the city of Oak Park who, when times were horrible, took cuts of all kinds and stuck with us. So we're delighted to be able to do something to thank them. And we hope this will provide a Merry Christmas for all of our employees. A roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, council members. If I could, before I go to E, if I could just say a couple of things, just piggybacking on what the mayor just stated, that we have about 191 full-time equivalent employees here at the city of Oak Park. And it is a true pleasure to lead this city government with such great staff, from public safety to public works to our management staff and I'm forgetting some. But really, we are very, very fortunate to have the staff that we do. And as the mayor stated, obviously, the employees have been the hardest hit during the lean years. And we finally got our community back to a point where we can hopefully start seeing a more progressive model set up in terms of pay and pay increases for our employees. But I want to thank all the employees for all the wonderful work that they do for us, and it's to be commended, no doubt.
Excellent.
15E, Madam Mayor, is just a request to approve to provide the same contract extension terms to the non-union general employees as well.
Okay, a motion to approve these contract terms.
Approved?
Support.
Okay, discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner. Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, and thank you to our employees.
Absolutely. Madam Mayor, members of council, 15F, I'm going to call the Assistant City Manager, Kevin Yee, up to go through this one for us.
Thank you. Attached is proposed change order number 2 and payment application number 3 for the 2015 catch basin line replacement and sewer lateral repair project M606. The change order is an increase to repair a sewer line that was found to need an open cut repair while we were doing the sewer lining project. This change order will increase the revised contract by $10,046.45. However, the original contract was reduced by $48,412.32 during a reduction change order to do the final contract. What we were able to do is bring this contractor back in after they had completed the original contract to do this repair for us. And we had unit prices and everything for that repair. So we elected to have them do the repair so we could get the lining project done appropriately. So it is recommended that change order number 2 for the 2015 catch basin line replacement and sewer lateral repair project M606 to Trolson Excavating be approved in the amount of $10,046.45. It is further recommended that payment application for the same be approved for the same amount, $10,046.45. Funding is available in the Water and Sewer Fund for this project.
Okay, do we have a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Second.
And seconded. Discussion or questions? Mayor Pro Tem.
Just making sure that this is one of the items we discussed earlier this year in regards to maintenance of the sewer line, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
What is an open cut repair?
Open cut where they have to actually excavate the area, so they're digging it up and they're doing a repair. We're doing a lining project, which we try to
the
do
inside.
whenever we don't, so we don't have to dig everything up. They can put basically a embedded liner into the pipe. They actually boil water in the pipe, cook the pipe, and it becomes a structural pipe in itself. We try to do that in our sewer lines whenever we can, so we don't have to dig things up and cause disruption to the neighborhood, and it's less expensive as well. So in this instance, we found a sewer pipe that actually, strange as it is, it was a smaller sewer pipe that was within another pipe. So we think they had done an isolated repair in the past, but they used a smaller pipe, so it was gonna cause potential issues, and it would have caused difficulty in lining it. So we elected to open cut, replace that section of pipe with the appropriate size pipe, and then line the whole thing. So that's what we did.
Oak Park always does it right, and it winds up cheaper in the end.
That's what we try to do.
You keep up on the maintenance and you don't have expensive repairs at the end, and I think Oak Park has done a phenomenal job of this for the life of the city, really. Okay, so do we have this motion?
We do.
We do. And we have discussion further? Or questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, next we have call to the audience. You're asked to hold to a 3-minute time limit, and just give us your name and address when you get up.
Beverly Miller, 13231 Oak Park Boulevard. I just wanted to let everybody know that I am one of the people that deal with OSHA. and they did the lawn this summer, cut the grass, and then they sent another paper out, because winter's coming, they'll clean the snow. They're gonna do the snow for 2015, and they're going to do the grass and snow for 2016. They've already sent the notice out, and I've already signed it. And what they do, they come out, and they do it, and they leave you a pink thing in your mailbox. And if you're not happy with it, all you have to do is call the number on there, if you're not happy with the person that comes out and do the work.
Nice.
But
That's
it's a good program, and if you can get in it, because I cannot be out there with no shovel trying to shovel no snow.
Absolutely.
And they do a very good job on your lawn, and they remove everything too, they don't leave anything for you to have to do. When they cut your grass, they take everything with them. So that's a good program.
And she is very particular. If she's happy, we would all be happy. And we never know when we're going to be the one that needs that help. We just don't expect it in our lives, and you never know. Welcome. Just give us your name and address, please.
Burton Zipser, 23451 Roanoke Avenue. Prior to what I'm here to thank the city for, I would like to add a comment that Mr. Tungate may remember. I sent him a comment last year. We're sitting on top of the Oak Park School District, the Ferndale School District, and possibly part of Berkeley. There are people in their 75 and 80 years, I happen to be 81, I'll be 82 on January 1st, who might have difficulty removing snow or cutting lawns. I suggested the idea of a youth corps from the high school students in those three schools, that they would also learn how to manage a business by learning how to promote themselves and things like that. I even came up with a name for it: Handy Dandy Lawn and Snow Removal. And nothing happened. The comment I got was that I should go to the school districts. But I would say, coming from the city, it might be a better approach. Just as a suggestion.
Thank you so much.
However, the reason I'm here is for a different reason. To first of all thank the city, the Public Works Department, and the Police Department. On Saturday night, October 21st, I'm hanging up my coat, and suddenly I feel a rumble, and I have a very large tree. I've been living here since 1970, and this is a very large tree, had three big branches, and the one that pointing across the street simply broke off and collapsed, holding up part of the street. I called 911 within 5 minutes, and one of the reasons I was told there was delay was because something had happened similar elsewhere. There were two cars blocked each side, and I will tell you, by 2 o'clock in the morning, the offending branch had been cut off, removed, and cleaned up. As a footnote to that, last Monday or Tuesday morning while I was away, someone came along and cut down a very small tree on my tree lawn, which the city had planted 10 plus years ago. No advance notice. I called the Public Works Department. On Friday, they came out with their equipment, removed the stump, which was on just by my driveway, and in the center of the tree lawn, planted a very nice small tree, which I hope will grow much bigger. And they did an excellent job of cleaning up afterwards. And so I would like to thank Public Works, or whatever forestry, I think you have a department for that excellent job. And people should know that such acts can be responded to.
Thank you so much for your comments. I will say that I had the same idea that you did about the youth corps. The problem to solve is the liability issue. I did talk to the school district about it, and the principal was very interested, but checking with their attorney, they also had liability issues. So we're researching some kind of way that we can get the people who want to help together with the people who need help. Thank you.
Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy. Regarding the OSHA, anybody who needs it needs to contact the City Hall ASAP, because do not wait until we get 10 inches of snow to call the city and think that they're gonna come out there. You have to let them know ahead of time. You cannot sit there and depend on your neighbors and all of a sudden they can't do it. If you want OSHA out there, when we get 10 inches of snow, you need to contact them ahead of time. They cannot be there just at your beck and call.
Good point. We'll put that in the mayor's message to let people know. Thank you. Next, we have comments from the council. Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Please have a safe weekend. The weather has finally turned into Michigan's weather, so please dress accordingly and bring your pets into the house. Thank you.
Councilmember Radner.
Stay warm, stay safe. If you're lighting Hanukkah candles, please be careful. Thanks for coming out and have a good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Rich.
Thank you all for coming. Have a good night.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah to everybody. Tonight's the first night of Hanukkah, so have a warm holiday. Second night? Oh, second night, first day. There you go. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much for coming out. There being no further business to come before this council session is adjourned.